What's up, family? Happy 2025. Hope y'all year is starting out blessed one. Um, just wanted to talk about a topic that I've been on for a little bit now, and it regards with these out of control kids that nobody's really getting to the real root of the issue. Some people do know the real root of it, but fail to act on it, especially the city itself. But if you pay attention, several years ago, we had this stupid mayor, Michael Nutter, name is fitting, and he made the biggest mistake that any of our mayors could do, or anybody in power for the city. Going back to the 80s, growing up in school, we always heard about school funding crisis. School needs money for this, school needs money for that. And every year, somehow, the city pulled through, funding was given, and we stayed in school. Unfortunately, when Nutter took office, he had this great idea to close schools. Now, the purpose of imposing the sugar tax that we had was to gain money for the schools. But how much of that money really went into the schools? I meant to do the research before I made this video to see how much funding is in this sugar tax. And the money is there, but it's not being allocated the way it should be. Of course, this is Philly. We all know that. Nothing gets allocated the way it should be. After Nutter took office and started talking about this school crisis funding, there was a budget that needed to be met around $23 million. The money was there, but as I said, it did not get allocated the way it should have been. So instead of investing in our youth, we now have a rotating ice rink in front of City Hall that ironically cost $23 million. And we have schools that got shut down. Well, closed rather. This is a bumpy street. So now we got a problem with, we're going to close all these schools down. One of my favorite schools, University City High, is now a damn apartment building. But you congest all these kids into neighboring schools, make them more crowded, more tension, which strikes more violence, more problems. Instead of all this money that the city is hiding, we're using for other stuff, and opening up more schools, opening up the schools that they closed down. Even Germantown High is now an apartment building, which is sickening, really. The city has developed more problems. Now the kids are always antsy, they're always watching their backs, they're always starting trouble. They're in bigger groups going out in the streets causing chaos. And now you have the gun violence. But yet, we still have these punk ass parents that are not watching their kids, because they're the other problems to the violence with these kids. 15-year-olds carjacking people, riding around in stolen cars, armed robberies, killing each other. That does not make any sense. Where are these kids getting these guns from? They can get them from anywhere. Where are the parents monitoring these kids? My only solution is to cause another ripple effect that was started. Charge these parents. I meant to do an email. I'm still going to do the email. And I'm going to CC it to everybody in power that I could possibly find with their email address. And it'll be a little lengthy, but I know there's a couple of people that want to be included in that email. Some people that have voices. And talk about creating a law where these parents get charged, because these parents are getting away with murder. Now, I've been saying this for years, and we've only heard in the news about a couple of parents that were charged and arrested, sentenced because of their kids causing mass shootings. How did they get the guns? Why do they have the guns? Why weren't you monitoring your child? You know, we have a curfew here. I think it's like 9 or 10 o'clock for anybody under the age of 18. The cops don't do nothing about that. They don't enforce nothing. It ain't like they're gonna ride past and see a group of kids, question them, detain them until their parents come. And even if they do that, nothing's gonna happen to the parent. And that's why nobody's scared and no actions can really be taken, because there's no end results. Get a couple of these kids that got caught with these shootings, got caught with stolen guns, these ghost guns. Get a couple of those parents and charge them. Make the law called share the time. You and your kid charging an adult sitting in a jail cell. It'll disrupt a couple of families, uproot them completely. But guess what? You start that ripple effect, and I guarantee you'll have a couple of neighbors saying, did you see what happened to such and such? A child shot that kid, they got caught. Now the parents are sharing the time. And there's the lack of fathers. That's a whole nother topic. But you got parents, you got grandparents, aunts, uncles. You know, we're responsible for our youth. But who's taking responsibility? Everybody's worried about everything else but the proper maturing of these kids out here. And it's not beneficial for the future. But I guarantee you lock a couple of these parents up on a regular basis, they get charged with their kids, people are going to look at that. They're going to eventually start looking at their kids and taking responsibility on making sure their kid ain't running around with the wrong crowd. Their kids ain't running around with hidden guns. Don't go in them rooms. Stop being a friend to your kids. Take action and show them that you're the parent and you're not with the dumb stuff. Of course, there's some parents out here that do. That ain't everybody. That's for sure, but it's too many that don't. You know, I'm grateful for my kids. They're not into the streets. I don't know how I would act. I'd flip out. I'd be in jail for beating their ass if they were. But every parent is not the same. You know, I've seen too many times where people put on posts or comment on posts saying they'd rather have their child's respect than fear. Yeah, I get that, but if your child don't fear you, then you're not going to have the respect at all. Some people might disagree with me. I don't care. But it's the truth. I was scared as hell of my mom. I done had one too many whoopings to make me realize my mom is crazy, and I'm going to respect the fact bet she's crazy because I don't want my ass whooped. Because that hurt. And it's not the fact that it hurt. It's the fact that it taught me discipline. I wasn't the best kid, but I wasn't the baddest either. But until we get some laws like that that'll actually make the parents responsible and take action with their own, this is only going to get worse. We need some of these schools open back up. We need to separate some of these kids. We need to bring some more teachers in. That's another problem. Lack of teachers. Why? Because we got a lack of schools now. How does that work? There's a teacher shortage. Well, we have a school shortage. So make that make sense. Don't complain about one thing when you can't fix something else that'll resolve the problem. So that's my side view on this. And hopefully one of these days I'll stop procrastinating and get this email done where I can send it to this new mayor, Cheryl Parker, who's always yelling in an interview. I don't know what the hell that's about. It just seems like she's just always yelling. Like, I have not heard this lady talking a soft tone yet. And I wish I could take my vote back because I ain't too happy with her actions. But that's my side view on that matter. Go after the parents. That's my side view.